Fathering and parenting was one and the same. Because my dad was a disciplinarian. He was our coach. Whatever we went to play ball or whatever, there was no football back then, it was just baseball. Our dad was always the coach. Matter of fact, fathers were important and kids needed their dad. You had your dad around, because some kids didn't have their dad around. Your dad was around, you were special. My dad was everybody's uncle, Uncle Tony. So that was a certain pride. I like to think that my kids felt that same pride. As a matter of fact, I'm honored when we come to the Father's Matter too. My son, Tony Carter III, you know, we do the 2, 3, 4 thing. Tony Carter III comes to this with us, and he has seen value in hearing his pop. They don't call me dad or pop, they call me pop. To hear his pop talk about the experiences that we had growing up and raising them and so forth, and him using those same experiences to discipline his kid with, again, doing it the way he sees it needs to be done. Because I think every generation sees some little nuances and differences, and we learn that from one another. So that's a good point.
And typically what we do is we push forward what we learn.
Right.
So we work on our children the same way, or we swing all the way to the other end and we're like, I ain't never doing my things. I ain't never doing these things, right? And most of us never really fall in the middle. We typically go all the way to the other side because we're like, I don't want that. I hated that. So I'm not going to do that to my children, right? And so y'all heard me say, I got a 21-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 2-year-old. Right? You heard.
Did you whoop the 21-year-old and 18-year-old?
No, because I swung the pendulum all the way to the other side. I was like, I'm not going to whoop them. I'm going to talk to them. And as a black man, I had 2 girls to start. Okay? Yeah. So we're different with them. Yeah. We're softer with them. We love them different. We treat them different. When they fall, we say, get up. Yeah. We help them up. But our little boys, we don't do that for, right? Yeah, so I only knew what was taught to me, but I didn't want that like you, and so I swung the other way. So I loved them. I talked to them. I adored them. I protected them, and that's what I could give to them. That's what I could give to those first 2. As I went through life, because my career has been around youth development and actually learning how youth develop. Now this little boy comes along, and now I get the chance to actually mold him. So I'm gonna do for him what I couldn't do for them. But I love them, I adore them, I sacrificed everything for those girls. Now I get the chance to love, adore, and sacrifice for him. But I also get to understand how he develops, and I get to work on that with my wife. We get to do those things. We get to be a mad scientist and grow his brain. And I get to love on him in a different way than my dad loved on me. There was never a doubt in my mind that my dad loved me. No question. That is my hero. That's my Superman. But I get to love him a different way. I get to pick him up. I get to look at him. I get to kiss on him. I get to hug him. I get to let him lay next to me, on me. I get to make silly faces with him. I get to be vulnerable with him in a space where my dad didn't get the ability to do with that.
One of the, I think, most powerful conversations that I feel like we had was early on, talking about like the model of manhood that was given to us, right? And that model of manhood was, I'm a provider and I'm a disciplinarian. And it wasn't often a model of, I'm gonna hug and kiss on you and show you love, right? And that was adaptive for them, because they had to be hard like that. And we don't have to be in that same way. But it's allowing us to say, okay, I realize those models it worked for them, it's what they felt they had to do to survive, and we need to do something different.